Just be careful with the natives, Al. These yokels are dangerous. Everybody hates a tourist, or it'll be Deliverance all over again. Achoo!
Hey, how you all? Hey, how?
Oh, this place is trying to kill me. I'll bet there's mold in here, spores, poison ivy, God knows what. This is so not worth a 15% commission.
Shut up, Barry. Hey, how you all doing? We're back.
You want to know where you can shove
Barry!
the flashlight?
I'm about to shove it up
the door when I leave.
Yeah, you go ahead and do what you have to do. I'll be fine. Alone, but fine. In a cabin straight from a horror movie.
Okay, are we done? Cool. How y'all doing? We're back with more Alan Wake. Now, we don't get a last time on because we're still in episode 2. However, the last time we played, we took up the role of Alan Wake, who has landed himself in Bright Falls with his wife. Unfortunately, their first night there, she was spirited away by some strange creature. And we've been,
Real funny, Al. Real funny. Ha ha! Thank you. I'll just sit here in the dark till you come back. Or until I get eaten by a grue.
Okay, that's kind of a... That's a reference. Not the game that I would have expected a fucking Zork reference from. So let's see. Hey, Brainbuster, Naren, and Tiakal, how you all doing? Appreciate you being here. Hope you're having a better day than I did. So yeah, what was right? So we've encountered the Taken. We've uncovered that there's something very wrong here in Bright Falls, and now our publisher Barry is here with us.
I'll wait here, Al. I'll hold down the fort. I'll be with you in spirit every step of the way, Al. Locking the door now.
Barry's kind of an asshole. Yeah, we've got some rural areas around where I live, but I like them. They're nice change of pace from all the houses and buildings and stuff. Just nice fields, and then we've also got mountains. And I don't like mountains. Okay, so we got a page. We're missing one.
Barry had never gotten along with Alice, but he knew Alan loved her with an almost frightening intensity. And now something had happened to Alice. And here was Al armed with a gun and saying things people got put in padded cells for. It was as if his friend had experienced a massive psychotic episode and was now totally disconnected from reality. It scared the shit out of Barry.
I'm wondering where I missed the page. Yeah, I technically grew up in the suburbs, but the where I'm at is very diverse. So there's like, you know, you got cities, and then you've got suburban areas, and then you've got the proper rural areas, and it's all very close to one another. Let's move that mic over here, a little closer to where I'm actually talking. $30 to $50 of the them wild hogs, huh? So you know,
I knew I should have gone to the cops. This wasn't the smartest thing I'd ever done, but I was still angry with Barry for trying to talk me out of it. These people had called me right in the sheriff's station. The cops wouldn't scare them, and they had Alice.
see, the last time I saw 30 to 50 wild hogs was at a road show for motorcyclists. Oh. so we're start picking up ammo because we've lost all our ammo between
Welcome
events.
back to the show, folks. As promised, our very own Dr. Nelson has just parked his rear end in the studio. Doc, what's your Deerfest plan like?
My plan? You make it sound a lot more organized than I ever seem to manage. No plan, really. Just taking the atmosphere. I'm getting a little too rickety to do much more than that, you know.
Oh, tell me about it. No sack race for us older gentlemen, huh?
Yes, exactly, Pat. But I'm going to check out the parade, of course. And I'll be one of the pie contest judges, too.
Well, that takes a different kind of constitution.
Oh, yeah. It's my kind of exercise.
Now, Doc, seriously, you're in pretty good shape, though. You're the outdoors type. I know for a fact you're an avid fisherman.
That's right. Matter of fact, just caught a heck of a largemouth bass early this morning.
But you're not taking part in the fishing contest?
No, not this year. See, Pat, I'm just not that competitive anymore. Now I just like to take my time and enjoy the peace of it. It's no fun if I need to worry about what I'm catching, you know?
Well, considering your track record, the participants are probably pretty happy you feel that way.
Well, Pat, that's kind of you to say.
So, for those just tuning in for the first time, we are going to be listening to and watching every radio program and television program, because they are really good parts of this game. As far as I understand, the feral hogs thing is, I guess some right-winger was trying to defend gun ownership by saying he'll need the gun to defend himself against hogs that seem to, like, come after his kids or some inane bullshit that right-wingers say while they're busy jacking off their guns, like the weak and feeble little losers they are. It was a I have 300 confirmed kills kind of meme. Right, yeah. Except I think this was a legitimate person legitimately thinking that they were making a legitimate point. Soft and weak people. Oh! Oh, I scared a bunch of birds out of here.
Crime and punishment. The cancer and cure of civilization. But some crimes are impossible to punish, especially in Night Springs. Tonight's episode, The Man in the Mirror.
He's inside, Agent. He's a weird one.
So, you're confessing to killing that guy, huh? Why?
Had it coming?
Yeah, but why would you do that? I mean, you're a nice guy. Normal. Took a kid to a soccer game. So how come at the game, you pick a guy and, quoting from the arresting officer's report here, assault the victim's head area repeatedly with the weapon of choice being a pair of bare fists? Wow, that sentence really flows, huh? Maybe you're not the literary type. Okay, so you mess him up. But why? Who was that guy? We couldn't ID him. Why would a guy like you do him like that?
I didn't like his face?
Well, you must have hated it, because you really went to town there. I mean, there's no way to tell what he looked like. No ID on him either.
That must be difficult.
But then we ran the fingerprints. Got a match. Your prints. Identical.
Huh, how about that?
Your son said you were wearing a white shirt when you took him to the game. But the white shirt is on the dead guy.
It's plenty red now.
You won't get away with this.
Do you really think that's in any way relevant to me? I had plenty of time to talk to my boy before the cops arrived, you know? He won't stop screaming, am I right? You think he's ever gonna be okay? I left my mark. Believe me.
You bastard.
What? You gonna shoot me? What's the point? I'm going to prison. You got me.
I don't understand any of this.
And you never will. Don't worry. Maybe you'll see me again, Agent. Maybe in the mirror.
Okay, so let's talk about that particular episode. Had an interesting premise at start, and I know this is like a mini-sode type thing as part of a video game, but we're still going to talk about it. Now that could have been creepy, except that it ended, but like there was no ending. It made no sense. Like, were they trying to assert that, I don't even know what they were trying to assert. What, that evil is within all of us and we all are capable of horrible deeds? Because, you know, when you're parodying the Twilight Zone, you need to, like, Futurama did a great job of parodying the Twilight Zone by just going all in on the concept of the plot twist. Because a lot of Twilight Zone episodes were built upon the plot twist. And so their satirical point against it was, you know, that the plot twist would just become more and more ridiculous, and then we just add the twist on top of another twist on top of another twist. Whereas this, it just feels like they're trying to recapture that odd sensation of the Twilight Zone without the actual intelligence of the Twilight Zone. Yeah, Twilight Zone was mostly about moral stories. There's more intense Aesop's fables.
The air in the visitor center was heavy with an awful smell, as if some rotten drowned thing had crawled up from its grave. Rusty kept coughing blood. My eyes were drawn to the twisted shape of his broken leg. The attack had been vicious. Max whined in his cage. Rusty's eyes were wild with fear and terror. He gasped. "Mr. Wake, it happened just the way it was on that page."
So yeah, like the Night Springs things are interesting, but they'd be better if they were able to pull off that if they're able to pull off.
The vision left me weak. This was no head injury.
Rusty, hang on! I'm coming! Please, help me! Anybody? Help me! Help me! Can you hear me? Anyone? Please help!
Sure, but I need to pick up this page.
The visitor center was sturdy, but the impact turned the front of the building into splinters. Rusty was thrown across the lobby like a rag doll and hit the far wall hard. It didn't hurt until he tried to move and saw his leg bend the wrong way, felt the broken ribs stabbing him on the inside. Rusty howled in pain and fear, suddenly afraid to die alone. The ranger's office was locked. I'd need a key to get in.
Help me. Somebody. Hello? Back here. I'm back here. Hey, please help me.
I see you, but I am looking for thermoses. Have you seen a thermos?
I'm here. I'm hurt.
Okay, so you haven't seen a thermos.
Mr. Wake?
Oh, hell.
It happened just the way it was on that page. I found. Came true. It knew. So dark. It'll come back for me.
You must... The lights. In the office. I have the key.
Okay, Rusty. Hang on. I'll be right back. Whatever did this couldn't be far. Rusty had found a page from the manuscript. It would help me understand what had happened.
Yeah, I think I read that one too.
Shh. Good boy.
I mean, there are some real good creepypastas. My favorite is No End House. That one was pretty damn good. Alright. So I think this key is for here.
The only way to make sure that Rusty was safe was to get the power running and the lights back on.
Why would you put the power switch for the building over here, though? Hold on. It's the building's all the way over there. We're over here. Why would you connect the power and not have a switch that you could flip in there? You have to come over here for. Bright Falls really isn't that bright.
At the last instant, I changed direction and threw myself down. The axe splintered the trunk of a tree. I stumbled into the pool of bright light. My lungs burned. I was too exhausted to move. I tensed as I waited for the killing blow, but it never came. I raised my head. Nothing moved in the darkness beyond. For the moment, bathed in the cold light, I was safe.
Oh, I saw wait, what was it? Ah, here we are. More batteries. Ammo.
I was too late. Someone had destroyed the circuit breaker. There was no way to get the lights back on.
Rusty!
The ground was covered with oily patches that looked like liquid darkness.
Ah. Alright, so there's little patches here, and I think they do damage if we touch them. So we're just gonna tag them. So remember, once the area is filled with like a fog like this, that means that there are enemies around. I gotta be honest, I am glad this is available on Epic Games Store because that means no stupid trophies.
Something had torn a mammoth-sized hole in the wall.
Did we really need to focus?
Don't feed the animals.
Oh. Rusty.
Fishing is only permitted for those prisoners who purchase a park license to obey. The park ranger's instructions.
That didn't look very
At
good.
all times.
Rusty? Rusty, no!
Never. Do bears and wolves never approach any other wildlife closer than 25 yards. Pets must be leashed. At all times. Never leave your
Alright, so he's all over the place.
is against the law. To remove any natural objects or historical items from the park. This is guilty.
There we go. Oh. There we go. That is another boss down. I don't know, I feel like achievements take away from a game. I found, and I actually had a problem with this a long while ago, where I got so obsessed with the achievements that I would rush through the game trying to get them all. So I wasn't actually playing the game, I wasn't enjoying the game, you know? Yes, we were being attacked by 30 to 50 feral park rangers. You can tell we're at a boss fight because there's a ammo dump. Right, exactly. If they made achievements that were actual, like, things you could achieve in the game rather than, oh, hey, you played our game. Now, the reason they have those is to show how many people have played through the game and beaten it. So that makes sense. It's a metric, basically. And it's the only way to actually quantify that particular number accurately. You know, how many people played through it? Oh, well, you know, this many people got, you know, all of the achievements for playing through the main story of the game. So that makes sense. It's when it's really dumb shit, like stand still for 2 minutes.
What the hell was that? I saw from the window. I saw something.
Forget about it, Barry. It's just me going crazy.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. You're not crazy. I wish you were crazy, but you're not crazy. Ow, be careful.
Stay in the cabin. Don't open the door for anyone. I mean it. In that last instant of consciousness, Rusty thought about Rose. He was older than she was. Rose was barely out of her teens, but she made him feel young and forget what a train wreck his long-dead marriage had been. He still wore the ring. He'd been waiting for her to tell him to take it off. Now she never would.
Ew, so Rusty's a pervert. I kind of don't feel bad. Also, I love the physics in this game, because everything just is made of plastic. So we've hit our checkpoint. But yeah, like, achievements are just nonsense, and just in my opinion, and for me specifically, I find them to be detrimental to the actual experience. Other people might disagree, and that's fine. Oh, no, we're back up here. Right, so, you know, achievements like that are important, but I'm talking, like, straight up video game, you know, chivos and trophies. Stuff that has no intrinsic value to the game other than bragging rights and serving as a metric. It's a metric point. That's really what trophies have become. Or what they mostly are, not that they become. They've always been that, but they mostly are that now.
Lover's Peak was at the far end of the nature trail.
Alright, so we got a cache nearby. Presumably through here. Yep, here we are. But I also think they're annoying when you're playing the game. Because, like, you're playing this, like, imagine this moment right now, and then I pop, like, we're in an intense gunfight with these monsters. We pop one, and all of a sudden, ding! You've shot 100 monsters. It just sucks away from the game. What would make achievements better is if they didn't... There's two options here. Moonshine Cave. This cave was the site of frequent and lucrative bootlegger activity throughout the Prohibition from 1919 to 1933. It was mostly used for temporary storage of alcohol smuggled from Canada, but at times alcohol was also distilled on the premises. Later, Tyrion. Appreciate you being here. Have a good one. But, like, there's a couple ways you can make trophies better. One option is to not have trophies unlock until the player plays the game for the first time, and then they play through it again, and that's when they start earning trophies. Or you just keep trophies from popping until the game is over completely. So, like, sure, you may have completed all of them. You may have completed all these tasks, but you don't get the notification until the game's over. Or I liked my first idea. You don't earn achievements until you beat the game the first time. So you get to play the game the proper way, and then you can play the game again and get all your little trophies and shit. And that way the experience is not marred by obnoxious notifications. Now, on the other hand, you could just turn off notifications, but you can't always. Steam doesn't let you do that. Your notifications are popping up and you could just suck it. That got me. Oh, shit! Oh, I am really not doing so good here. Yeah, it's more just like, it was kind of like one of my issues with Time and Eternity. Where there'd be a plot beat that's very serious and, all that. And then at the end of it, there's just like this, a trophy pops and it's a happy noise or something like that. And it's just, that dissonance does take away from the game experience, I think. It was definitely intrusive during the Telltale game stuff. Like, Walking Dead is just one miserable experience after another. And then in the middle of that, you've got trophies popping off. And it's just like, we just had this serious and intense moment. And now you're popping a trophy on me. I missed a lot.
Nobody in Bright Falls seemed to know where Al was, but Rose, the waitress at the diner, had seen him. From what Barry could tell, Al pretty much fell off the face of the earth when he left the diner. Rose was just the kind of fan that Al hated, but she really tried to help. She was smart too, knew a lot about what was going on in the town, knew a lot about Al, even knew who Barry was. Barry liked her. That was no big surprise. When it came to women, Barry and Al rarely saw eye to eye.
Some shit's going down around here. I'm wondering how I missed so many pages. Yeah, there are some trophies that are just straight up nonsense. Right, yeah, goofy trophies aren't bad. Well, like, there's the, one in, Saw 2, where you have to stand still for 2 minutes. there are a lot of trophies like that particular one. There's a trophy in Bloodstained: Ritual of the Night. The Great Old One, felled by lightning in 1937. This exceptionally tall Rocky Mountain Douglas fir, Pseudotsuga menziesii, subspecies glauca, was over 200 years old. According to local legends, it stretched beyond the stars. After it fell, it was measured to be 66 meters tall, nearly a record length. And Bloodstained, if you do a dive kick onto an enemy for I think like 15 seconds without touching the ground, that's a trophy. Ooh. Oh, hey now. Alright. Apparently I dodged too early. I don't mind the idea of trophies as a goal. I just feel like they should come into play secondarily. Like, oh, shit. Like, players should be playing the game first and then have the chance for earning trophies and such. Ah! So we checkpointed and we've healed up. Get some ammo and batteries. I should probably just start making more use of my batteries. Oh, okay. I don't like that that's that far down. Like, do them in order.
I turned the corner, afraid of what the flashlight's beam might reveal. Suddenly, a roughly painted symbol of a torch glowed in the light. Behind it, hidden by a rock, sat a battered metal trunk. It was here for a reason. Packed with supplies, batteries, flares, ammo. Things you need to make it through the darkness of the night. Something left behind by someone who knew what I knew, and more.
Like, trophies, I feel, for the most part, like you're kind of saying, Naren, they fit better in puzzle games. They don't really fit so well in a game like this. They don't have a place here in this kind of game. Dead Space, same thing. Like, once you beat the game the first time on, like, the easiest difficulty or whichever difficulty you start with, it should then unlock a mode where you start to earn trophies for doing different things. And that, to me, is a far better system than, alright, start playing the game and here's just a shitload of trophies, enjoy. You know? The only trophies you should be getting on your first playthrough are beat first chapter, beat second chapter, and so on and so forth. And even then, they should only pop at the end of the game. And then on your second playthrough, then you start seeing trophies and such during your playthrough. Okay, so the flashlight regenerates over time. And then we just use batteries to refresh it faster. Also, that's it. That was a good one, Tia. I appreciate that. Aha, there's our friend. Hello, Thermos. The tree this ring was cut from started growing in 1846, the year the Oregon Treaty was signed. Other notable events marked on the rings. 1853, Washington Territory was formed. 1878, the founding of the Bright Falls Mining Company and the town itself. 1889, Washington was granted statehood. In 1929, tree was damaged in a forest fire. In 1970, the Bright Falls Mining Company closed its doors after a volcanic eruption below Cauldron Lake. In 1980, Mount St. Helens erupts, and in 1987, the tree is felled by a storm. So you need to get some history along with your fighting shadow people. And apparently we are just super strong and just push this giant hunk of wood around. But yeah, this is an extremely good game. There's some questionable hitboxing in it, but for the most part, it's pretty solid. Right now, I'm just checking around for extras. There's a radio tower up there. But it looks like we found everything in this area. And we've beaten the enemies, so they're not bothering us. So we keep moving. So we're gonna checkpoint ourselves. Alright, so we gotta get through. Ah, here we are. Another manuscript page.
Agent Nightingale didn't want to be in Bright Falls. These little communities revolted him, and he didn't like the trees or the coffee. He now knew that impossible horrors lurked behind the storefronts and smiles. He desperately wanted to turn the car around and just drive until he passed out or ran out of road and booze. But he had a job to do. He had a rider to catch, at any cost.
Oh, there we are. Nice cable car coming our way. Oh, alright. I perhaps may have been in the wrong spot. So this kind of thing freaks me out. This is not safe at all. Yeah. Like I said. Oh.
Come on, we gotta get moving. More of them coming. That flashlight's kid stuff. The flares will keep the bastards away.
I mean, my flashlight is pretty handy.
See them too? Hell, of course I see them. Come on, we gotta move.
Why?
Because that's the way the story goes.
Yeah, but
Let's move.
I lost my gun back there.
Oh, I've got a gun. Just keep that light steady on him.
It took a moment, but then I recognized him. He'd been on the ferry when I first arrived here with Alice. He knew my name. We were headed in the direction of Lover's Peak. There was no way this was a coincidence. He was the kidnapper.
Come on, Wake. You better keep up. You set him up, and I'll knock him down, Wake.
I mean, you could wait until I've tagged him. Shoot him. Thank you. Oh. Oh my god, reload faster, you fool. Alright, you want to go that way, that means I want to go up this way. Or not. Oh. Ow! Shoot him! Thank you. Never trust an AI. AI are bad. Damn it. Oh, come on, I dodged that. Like I said, some of it's a little questionable. Alright, you got nothing special for me around here.
Lover's Peak. Right up these stairs, Wake. Use the flares from the emergency box to hold them off while I get these boards off.
Give me the gun.
Yeah, no can do, Wake. Are you kidding? Give me the gun! No time for back talk. Hold them off, damn it! Just a little longer. Scare them off. Get some light on those bastards. That'll keep them off us.
I mean, do something! Ah!
Just a little longer. I almost got it. Okay, it's open.
Oh, fuck you then. Oh, what?
Oh, you feeling better now, Wake? All cozy and safe.
Yeah, we'll just have him get eaten.
Better get ready. They'll be on us soon.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's a kidnapper, so naturally he's got the gun. And we'll have to follow him. I know, like, that would have made a lot more sense, but that's not how the story was written.
This is it, Wake. The last stand. There's more flares here. Get ready. We fight them as long as they keep coming. Give me the goddamn gun! They're coming! That's not how this goes. Get with the program, Wake. Monster! Stop fighting me!
I love that he shoots at them before they're vulnerable. Shoot this one, thank you. Thank you. There we go.
This is a piece of cake, Wake.
Shoot him!
Monster! Stop fighting me!
Oh god. Alright. That was silly. There we go. That. Oh, thermos! Damn it.
Let's cut the act now. Where's my wife?
I knew you were gonna say that. I read it all before. You're a hell of a writer. Congratulations. You're gonna bring about something glorious and terrible once we get you some proper editorial control.
What the hell are you talking about? Where's Alice?
I want the entire manuscript, or she's gonna suffer bad.
You touch her mouth.
I'm sad we missed out on a,
No! Come back here! I swear I'll kill you if you hurt Alice! Do you hear me? Come back here!
missed out on a thermos.
He had Alice, and he wanted the manuscript because he thought it held some magical power. But I had no manuscript to give him. I had to get back to Barry and figure out my next move. On more than one occasion, Alice had tried to explain to me how it felt to be afraid of the dark. To her, darkness wasn't simply the absence of light, but something more tangible than that. It was something you could touch and feel. Worse than that, it was something with a mind of its own, something malicious and malign. For her, things changed when they were wrapped in darkness. They turned into something else, something foreign, and nothing was safe or innocent anymore. I'd never really understood what she meant, until now.
Lots of tree branches to climb around on. I know I said last time I wasn't going to get all wrapped up in the collectibles, but damn, missing that thermos was just sad. Very disheartening. Heartbroken. Alright, let's go grab that page. Wait. Yeah, there it is. Oh no.
Steve warned me about these traps. I wouldn't want to get caught in one of them. Those teeth look nasty.
I don't want the thermos trophy. So if that's the way I'm supposed to go, then what's over here? It's just gotta watch out for bear traps. So it's another bear trap. Ah. Some of these are hidden very well. Like that one. As long as you shine your light on it, that little flash will appear. Is that a page? No, that's against the wall. That wouldn't be a page. Dang.
Sarah didn't care about the legal threats Wake's agent had made. She let Wake go without argument, because there was something about him she couldn't quite put her finger on, something that reminded her of her father. She didn't think Wake would hurt his wife. Then she thought about the way he waded into Hartman, that hair-trigger rage flaring up without warning.
Oh, it looks like they, Alright, so they stay active for as long as the flashlight is near them. I think it's within whatever the not just the beam, but there's a sort of halo around the beam. And I think that also that will also, yeah, let's see. Yeah, see, the beam's just to the right of it, but that halo of light counts. So if you can catch them within that, you're fine. Ah! Whoa! This dynamic shoulder camera really is not good. Control-wise, it's fine. I think I came through here. Yeah, okay. Alrighty.
Give me the manuscript or you'll be sorry. No! Come back here! I swear I'll kill you if you hurt Alice! Do you hear me? Come back here!
He had Alice, and he wanted the manuscript because he thought it held some magical power. But I had no manuscript to give him. I had to get back to Barry and figure out my next move.
Hey, Malik, how you doing? Appreciate you being here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. That was an odd... I want to see if I can actually recreate that. And if so, if I can get to that rock. So to do that, we had to go over here. We climb. Oop, climb. Nope, we gotta climb from the other side, maybe? No, haha. Oh, wait, no, right, because the collision box on that's all fucked up. Okay, so we gotta come around this side. And when we do that, we go over here. And now here... How did I do it? There we go. And then up here. There it is. Aha! So we made it to this rock. But to no real end. Alright, well, we did it. We said we could do it, and we did it. It's nothing of real importance. Oop. What was that about? So we're maxed on ammo. Here's the other manuscript page. So we just gotta go down this way. Ah, okay, we gotta cross. Thought I heard footsteps behind me. No! There we go. Ooh. Oh. Sometimes it'll show you where enemies are coming from, and then other times they blindside you. Ah. Shit! Alright, that's kind of saved my ass there. This is true. Actually, Malik, I'd appreciate it if you told us the story of the lamp monster.
The night had been one desperate situation after another. I was exhausted, and my body felt as though it had been chewed up and spat out. The flashlight was heavy in my hand, and each pull of the trigger sent a painful shock up my arm. But I was finally out of the woods, and things were looking up. That's when I heard the chainsaw.
Ah, hunting rifle. I mean, I didn't really need to use that one, but... Hey, Thermos. Yes, tell us about the lamp monster. Regale us with the Stephen King story of the lamp monster. There's no way back.
I had heard the plane fall. It made no sense. It was clear that it had just fallen here, but it was very old and obviously hadn't flown in decades. Looking at it sent a shiver down my spine.
I like Stephen King's earlier stuff, even though he's kind of... He's got some really great stories. I like his short stuff more than his long-term stuff. Like, it was a frustratingly homophobic and pedophilic, and then Insomnia had some good ideas, and then it just unravels at the end. Thinner was alright. Firestarter was pretty good. Shining was good. I haven't read Dr. Sleep because it sounds really stupid. Yep, there's also Carrie. Carrie was good. Tommy Knockers was incredibly stupid. I didn't read The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. I've heard good things about it. Desperation was a terrible story. Needless Things was also pretty bad. Or Needful Things, yeah. So King's kind of hit and miss. Like, when he does a good story, damn it, he does a good story. When he does a bad story, it's just like... It's like drinking an entire bottle of lemon juice. Yeah, Desperation was pretty upsetting. Desperation was a real rough read. Oh no, I was referencing one of the very few Family Guy jokes that I thought were funny, which was when it was Stephen King sitting in his publicist's office, and he asks him what his next story is going to be about, and he panics for a moment, just grabs a lamp, goes, "It's about a lamp monster," and attacks like a teenage couple or something. And the guy's like, "You're out of ideas, aren't you?" And he just starts poking at him with the lamp. I was just referencing that. It's very hard for Family Guy to actually have good jokes, and when they do, they're actually kind of clever. And then the rest of it's just, you know, terrible! Trying to think of so like I would highly recommend Graveyard Shift and Nightmares and Dreamscapes by Stephen King. They're really good anthologies of short stories. And that's where Stephen King is at his best. When he's got just like a small amount of space to tell a story, he does a fantastic job. The other one too is The Green Mile was really, really good, and it was a long story, but it was cut up into smaller like booklets, and it was really good in that regard. And then what else was there? It was
When Barry saw the darkness attack the visitor center, it made him a believer. The men Al said he'd shot, they hadn't been just locals on crank. Somehow the world had changed, like the channel had been switched without warning. You think you're watching a sitcom, and you're really watching a horror show. When the birds started attacking the cabin, Barry wasn't surprised, just terrified.
I had a thought in that, my thought went away. But yeah, basically just read Stephen King's like smaller works. Oh, Gunslinger. The Dark Tower was this really great story series that he had set up, and I think it was like 7 books long. And like the first couple of books were the first book was freaking great. The second book was a little okay. And you know, third book really, really good. And then I think it was Song of Susanna when I started to check out with it. And then the whole series ends stupidly, just terribly. Look, Ma, I'm Geralt. Or Geralt, however you pronounce it. Man, I love the Dark Tower, and then just like the ending pissed me off so much because it was just so bad.
The logging site was a mess. The modular office had been pushed off the cliff. Deputy Thornton climbed up from the wreckage excited, breathing hard from the exertion. Nobody there. It's weird. Don't you think that's weird? Bored, Mulligan let out a mighty snort. Hell, it's always weird, Thornton. Just a question of sorting out what kind of weird it is this time around.
Alright, so we did all of that. Reached the top of the mill. Right, okay. Forgetting that this has objectives. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Physics gone crazy. Okay, so we got to the top of the mill. We're gonna get the hell out of here. Through more woods. Yeah, Dark Tower is again, it's Stephen King's entire hit and miss. Be aware of Widowmakers. In just like an entire series. Damn. I mean, I'm gonna just start using batteries because we got so freaking many. And because this is, it's because this is on easy. So I'm just chewing through, like, I'm not even chewing through batteries.
Shadows stirred and the wind picked up as I ran through the forest. I felt the dark presence turning its gaze toward me. Then the moonlight was blotted out by dark shadows that raced violently across the ground, moving too swiftly to be natural. Darkness gathered between the trees and melted again to reveal the Taken. No natural path had brought them here.
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, some people can do. There's different types of endings you can do. You can do a traditional ending, an ending that people expect. You can try to pull like a quick one, an ending that people won't expect. Then you can kind of just do a bullshit ending that people neither expected nor didn't expect. It just makes no goddamn sense. I mean, there's obviously different kinds of endings, and with the Dark Tower, there is a simple ending that he could have done. And that is that he takes down, he takes him down, and then the ending he decided to go with. Was just utter nonsense. It was a Final Fantasy. It was the Final Fantasy VIII ending, basically. Yet somehow dumber. And I couldn't believe that he did that. It was just infuriating. But at the same time, you know, like I said, you know, I started petering out around Song of Susannah because it's just it gets dry and just a lot of nothing going on. I see you up there. There we go. I'd say sometimes getting the right ending can be difficult. for me, every time I've written anything, I've always had the ending immediately when writing it. Like, I write around my endings. So I know how the story's going to end before I even start writing the rest of the story. Oh. So speaking of chainsaw, there we go. It's definitely easy. Kind of wondering if I should have just played it on normal. But you know what? It's fine. That means we can just focus on playing the game and enjoying it. Which is another thing that I feel like we need to be more wary of in our communities, is that idiotic mindset that, you know, if you're playing it on easy, well, you're not going to enjoy the game. You're not getting the most the game has to offer. That masochore mindset that people have, and fuck that. If you want to play a game on easy, and that's how you can enjoy the game, that's valid. The most part about chainsaws is they gum up immediately. I wouldn't know about this, Malik, but I appreciate your knowledge. However, you came to obtain it. Alright.
Barry?
Ow! The porch is covered with birds. They've got all Hitchcock on me.
Stay out of sight. I'm on my way. Don't open the door.
What, am I crazy?
Stay hidden. I'll be there soon. Just make sure you keep the lights on.
It would scar terribly, the person would die from shock. But chainsaws are designed to be as safe as possible if things go wrong. And that's the thing going pretty wrong.
I still had to reach Barry at the cabin, but at least I was out of the woods.
I don't know, it looks like we're still in the woods. Hey, sweetie. So we need to activate that. Maybe there's a... So we found a thermos. Is there another manuscript page? There's manuscript.
The FBI agent's command froze me in place. I considered surrender. It was all falling apart anyway. I could give in, let someone else deal with it. But it felt all wrong. Call it instinct. His posture. The way he held the gun. He was no friend. Shots ringing in my ears, I leaped for the hole in the fence and stumbled into the darkness beyond.
I have been joined by a fuzzy buddy. Oh.
A story is not a machine that does what you tell it. A story is a beast with a life of its own. You can create it, shape it, but as the story grows, it starts wanting things of its own. Change one thing and you set off a chain reaction of events that spreads through the whole thing. The characters have to be true to themselves. The events need to follow a logic that fits the story. A single flaw and the magic is gone. The story dies. Alice dies.
Peculiar. Oh. Occupied. Yes, Game of Thrones dies. I like the part where Khaleesi marries Jack Sparrow. So I believe that's all the collectibles for this spot. Let's grab ourselves a car. What do you think, Alessa? Alessa agrees. Well, I don't blame them. People were such assholes about the ending to that series. So guess what? There's driving mechanics. Vroom. Shit. Ah! It's a lot of fun running these nerds over. Oh. Ah! Ah! I hurt my car. Okay, so driving is actually terrible in this. Vehicle kind of jerks and, like, moves around, and it's not a smooth experience. Huge difference compared to the running around. That's the fun of the game, is you don't quite know. You don't quite know. Are they people? Are they monsters? Or are we dancing? Oh, this car is jacked the fuck up. Let's see if we can't get another one. What about you? No, that car is jacked up. Okay. Never mind. Hey, thermos! We got a thermos. Just fling that chair out of my way. It turns out it was man. Man is the greatest monster. Alright, so they're blockading us from bringing the car. Fair. Fair. It is a bit overpowered. What critter?
The flare gun was probably the best weapon I could imagine against the dark things I was facing.
Or was it? It was! Oh! Yeah, nerd on out of here, nerd. Oh, okay, how about, no, how about this? Oop. Shot him in the ass. Alright, we're better now. Man was darkness, and darkness was man. And cat was a cat. The opposite of man. For cat is pure, and cat is good.
It was the kidnapper.
You son of a bitch! Where's my wife?
Enough horseplay, Wake. You deliver the manuscript, and you can have your woman back. Simple as that.
I don't... Listen. I'm gonna need time to finish it. I still need to write the ending. I need a week.
It's not done?
I need a week.
2 days. The old Bright Falls coal mine is nearby. You can find it easy, city boy. The main building, there at noon. You bring the manuscript, you'll get your wife. If not, well, get me?
Yes, I get you.
Like a cheap paperback. Alright, so we've been here. See, one thing I like about horror games is that whole feeling of paranoia as you're playing through. Like, are those noises just ambient? Are those enemies nearby? That's ominous.
Barry had talked about birds over the phone.
Alright, so I remember this. So as you can see, the birds are dark. The darkness controls the Taken. So the birds are made of darkness. So to defeat them, we shine a light. But their movement pattern is kind of annoying if I remember correctly. Right. So this is where you learn how to fight these jerks.
Al, I am so glad you're here. A couple of them got in here before I blocked the chimney. This isn't normal. These birds are weird.
Well, let me the hell in. Oh, right, yeah, this sucks a lot. So essentially, you just gotta, like, keep the beam on them as they swoop at you. There you are. See what I mean? It's just very annoying. So you just gotta defeat enough of them within a group to make them go away. It takes 2 batteries to fill up the flashlight. Grab that. Get out of here. Oh! I don't know if you can actually dodge them, is the thing. So,
you can open the door now. They're gone.
There we go. So the trick to defeating them is you wait to hear that caw, that angry caw.
Al, I'm sorry for thinking you were having a psychotic episode, man.
Then you pop a
I
flare.
sent Barry to the town to ask around about a man fitting the kidnapper's description. He'd go through the archives of the local paper. Perhaps he could learn something. Anything about the island and the cabin that had disappeared. The man wanted a manuscript. I had to try to write him one to get Alice back. For me, the supernatural had always been nothing but a metaphor for the human psyche, a tool to use in writing fiction. Now, it was happening for real, and I couldn't put a single word on paper.
Barry Wheeler speaking.
This is Rose.
Rose?
I found Mr. Wake's pages.
Oh, you sweet, brilliant girl.
Could you and Mr. Wake come get them? I live in the trailer park outside the town.
We'll be there in less than an hour.
Bye now.
See you soon.
Have a great day. Hope you come back soon. Welcome to the Oh Dear
Diner.
Good girl.
Come here. Pretty please, can you tell me where I am? You want to say something? I need to get my bearings amongst, and the shadows keep on changing.
Previously on Alan Wake, Alice has been kidnapped.
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife again.
I can't tell anyone except my agent Barry.
Damn it, Barry, they'll kill her. You're my best friend, and I'm worried that you're not right in the head.
The ransom is a manuscript I supposedly wrote that's coming true before my eyes.
It happened just the way it was on that page. So dark.
I have found only a few scattered pages.
I want the entire manuscript.
The deadline is in 2 days.
I found Mr. Wake's pages.
Good girl.
How the hell did she get her hands on the manuscript anyway?
I don't know. She's resourceful. I told you you were too hard on her. Listen, I found out all sorts of interesting stuff while I was digging around.
Yeah.
Mr. Wake, it's Sheriff Breaker. We have an FBI agent here, Agent Nightingale.
FBI?
He's anxious to see you. You'd better come to the station.
Okay, I'll be right over, Sheriff. Let's make this quick, huh?
Help you folks? Name's Randolph. I'm the manager.
We're looking for Rose. Works as a waitress down at the diner.
Rose, sure. Nice girl. Who wants to know?
I'm Alan Wake.
The writer, huh? I heard on the radio you were visiting. Well, I'll show you her trailer. That Rose, she's a nice girl. Always pays her rent on time.
As I was saying, Al, I found all sorts of weird stuff from the local newspaper's archives. This place is crazy. Disappearances, mysterious deaths, urban legends come true, and get this, most of this stuff takes place around Cauldron Lake.
Well, you ain't wrong, mister. The Indians thought the lake was a doorway to the underworld. I'm the God-fearing type myself. I don't hold with that sort of thing.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, there was an island there owned by a guy called Thomas Zane. Now, some of the articles I found about him make him out to be a famous writer, but I ran a bunch of searches, couldn't find a single thing he wrote. Zane was heavily into diving, so much so that the place came to be called Diver's Isle. But the volcano under the lake erupted in 1970, and Zane went down with the island.
Yeah, how about that? It was there in the morning, as if it had fallen from the sky. But it would take a tornado to lift something like that. We're damn lucky it didn't crush any of the trailers.
He's talking about that. I'm a writer. I'm a writer.
It gets better. A local girl, Barbara Jagger, drowned in Cauldron Lake just a week earlier. They were lovers.
Barry, I'm over here.
Sure, Jagger's a local spook story. The Scratching Hag comes for you in the dark. Childish stuff like that.
Anyway, Al, I'm just getting to the best part. All of the articles about this stuff were written by Cynthia Weaver. I asked around, and she's that crazy bag lady you met.
What, the lamp lady? She can be a little loopy, but she's not homeless or anything.
Yeah, anyway, she knew both Jagger and Zane before they both died, and she had some kind of a breakdown.
Alright, glad we stopped there. I agree. Hey, wait, where'd you, there you are. Is your AI okay, Randall? You seem a little broken. Who puts a flyer in there? Why would you put your red wagon in the it's not even sand, that's just gravel.
Come on, mister. I'll take you to Rose's trailer. Well, mister, this here's Rose's trailer. You mind me asking what you want with her?
We're just here to talk to her, pal.
That didn't sound threatening in any way, shape, or form, Barry. You asshole.
Welcome to... Oh dear, Mr. Wake. I'm so glad you're here.
Rose,
okay,
you
we're
have my
leaving.
Manuscript?
Oh. Oh, yes. Yes. Please, come in.
Slurp.
Hey, this is really good. Rose.
Yes.
My manuscript. I really need it.
I understand. I know what you need. A muse to inspire you.
Oh, for Barry. She doesn't have anything.
Yeah, hey, Al? Al, what's... Oh...
Barry! What? What?
It's coming for you, hiding in my barber's skin. I'm too weak to stop it. You must turn the lights on.
I promised I'd come visit you and your lovely wife. You must finish what you started. I insist.
You must turn the lights on. Turn the light on.
I felt nauseous, hungover. Only anger kept me going.
What?
I can't tell reality from dream anymore, but it seems I have an imaginary editor to help me. She's an old woman in a funeral dress. I call her Barbara Jagger. She's very strict. I'm writing faster and faster. My manuscript is being heavily revised. The edits are getting very aggressive, and each day there's less of me and more of her. I hate it, but I know she's right. She promises me I can save Alice this way. She knows more of this than I do. About the complex incantation I'm attempting. About this place. She's worked with another writer under similar circumstances, Thomas Zane. The genre of the story seems to be shifting. It's turning into a horror story. I'm getting close. I can feel it.
It's a bit of an Alan Wake fan.
Rose took a day from me. I had less than 12 hours left to meet the kidnapper. All I could do was get Barry into the car, work something out once I got on the road. Barry was out of it. He was way too heavy to carry.
You're right. I deserve more money. I'm so handsome.
Should we hit him with the apple?
Welcome to the Oh Dear Diner. What can I get you today? Coffee?
I couldn't work up much hate for Rose. Something had used her to get to me and left its mark.
First refill is free. Milk and sugar on the counter there. Would you like to hear today's specials? Thank you. A nice day. Come back soon.
I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I like my coffee with some what is
My
what
gun
is
and
my
flashlight were gone. I'd have to find a way to get Barry into the car as quickly as possible. There was no time to waste.
Sure, there's plenty of time to waste. I like my coffee with 6 sugars, 2 creams, and 2 sedatives.
Mr. Randolph liked Rose. That little smile she had. How she was still sweet when life had tried so hard to make her bitter. It wasn't any of his business what she did in her trailer. But those strangers, the writer and his smart-ass sidekick, looked like trouble. And they'd been in there for hours, way past her normal bedtime. He reached for the phone and called the sheriff's station.
That's not good. Got a radio.
I just stepped outside to catch a breath of fresh air. Let me tell you, the weather's getting heavy. Nights like this make me especially glad I'm here talking to you and not home in bed. Once the weather takes a turn like this, I can't sleep at all. It's all tangled bed sheets and dark thoughts, punctuated by the occasional plunge into nightmare. Is it just me? Well, perhaps it is. But I hope I can make the night a little bit easier to get through. Caller, you're on KBF FM.
Hey, Pat, it's Walt Snyder.
What's on your mind, Walt?
Well, I ain't the way you are, but, well, I can't sleep either, you know? I just been staring out the window here, trying to make sense of it all, but, I ain't been drinking either, you know? I just...
Well, you sound like a man with a problem, Walt.
I had a, argument with Danny. You know, Danny, and, then I got in trouble with the law, you know, and, I'm just, well...
I heard something like that, Walt.
Yeah, well, you know, he's, Danny's my best friend, and, they let me out on bail today, and now I'm just alone here at the window, you know, waiting. Man, and there's something in the air tonight, man.
I was just outside looking up at the sky above our broadcast tower thinking the same thing. What are you waiting for, Walt?
I don't know. You know, something's gonna happen. You know, I think I better go.
Well, Walt, maybe...
No, thanks, Pat.
Well, good luck to you, Walt. Hang in there. Let's take a little break, folks. This weather's really something else, huh?
How can I be sure?
I mean, they put a lot of work into all of this side stuff, and I appreciate that. I really do. Thermos, come to me. Be my thermos. Fill me with your warmth. Hey, there's somebody out there. Could that be our good friend Randolph? Is there any papers? That noise. Obviously, it sounds like water. It's a weird sound effect. Who the hell would stack this many pallets up on their back door? That's just nutty. Look, there's another stack of pallets. I think it's the same asset, too. Yeah, you can hear a faucet or something. Randolph's just like, see, watch him just like dart from building to building. Guy's a weirdo. Like, they do a really good job of building up the game. Even when things are patently obvious, it's still an enjoyable experience. And, like, each little twist and turn that they add, you know, it seems it works.
Oh, you're gonna get it now. God knows what you've done to that poor girl.
This is Agent Nightingale, FBI! Get him up, Hemingway! You're under arrest! You move a muscle, I'll unload right in your goddamn face! Stay right where you are, Blaine!
That escalated pretty quickly.
I'm standing right here, you goddamn maniac!
Fuck the police.
I hated to leave Barry behind, but there was no way I'd miss my appointment with the kidnapper.
Alright, well, it's going to be a while until the next checkpoint, and unfortunately, that is where we're going to call it. I want to thank you all so much for coming by and watching, and of course, I'll see you on the next one. Later.